the FBI have to come back and answer some of the more questions, including some of the changes that they say they've made to make sure something like this never happens again.
We just now reported on Special Counsel John Durham having a report, his report talking about Trump and how the probe should have never happened because there was no real cause to move forward with it. Well, guess what? People were saying that Americans on both sides should be pissed off at the federal government for being this unfair and moving forward. Well, guess what? CNN reported on this. Let's see how unfair they are. Let's see if they're fair or unfair, because they reported on this, and I want to see how they took this news.
It's over, and John Durham, the special counsel investigating whether there was any misconduct by the FBI in the Trump-Russia investigation, just released his findings. For years, as you may recall, Donald Trump and his supporters pinned their hopes on the investigation by the former U.S. Attorney for Connecticut. John Durham, later named special counsel by Attorney General Bill Barr. Trump and his allies arguing that Durham would exonerate him and his 2016 campaign and associates from any hint of improper behavior regarding the Russian government's attempts to interfere in the 2016 election. Durham is coming was the slogan and the meme tweeted by Republican lawmakers and the president's family, hinting that Durham would lead to bombshell indictments of those who investigated Trump. Now, the bombshell indictments did not happen. Durham did get one minor court victory, 2 court losses. But President Trump appeared so confident.
You hear that? The bombshell convictions or what did he say? Did not happen yet, but he did get one minor win. He calling this a minor win. And he also pointed out that he got 2 losses. They don't care. They are looking at the record in its totality. They can care less
of what Durham would find. He openly pressured the special counsel to release his findings before the 2020 election. Regardless, the report is now here. It has dropped, and it might not have produced everything of what some Republicans hoped for. It is, regardless, devastating to the FBI, and to a degree, it does exonerate Donald Trump. Let's bring in CNN senior justice correspondent Evan Perez. Evan, what exactly did Durham find in this report?
Well, Jake, the bottom line finding from John Durham's 4-year investigation is that the FBI moved very quickly to investigate these allegations of connections, of collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia, and that they did so by ignoring a lot of evidence that would have led them to drop that altogether. He's saying that they may have had reason to open a preliminary investigation, an assessment. Perhaps these are very, very low-level investigations. But certainly what he finds is that there wasn't enough there to support the FBI's decision to open a full-blown investigation of this of the Trump-Russia ties back in 2016. I'll tell you.
He actually said that it exonerates Trump. He actually said that. I'm surprised that he said that. But I need for y'all to listen, man. They're going to be a little shady in the way that they present.
One part of what he writes here, he says that it seems highly likely that at a minimum, confirmation bias played a significant role in the FBI's acceptance of extraordinarily serious allegations derived from uncorroborated information that had not been subjected to the typical exacting analysis that the FBI usually uses. He goes on to say that the FBI discounted or willfully ignored material information that did not support the narrative of a collusive relationship between Trump and Russia. There's a lot of very sharp criticism here of the former FBI leadership, James Comey, Andy McCabe, who were running the FBI and who oversaw a lot of these, a lot of the steps that the report goes into.
James Comey, whom Trump fired. Who in his other video, he said, see, I fired James Comey. I had great instinct.
Jake, but as you pointed out, bottom line, there are no additional charges. Nobody is bringing charges against Comey or anybody else that the former president Trump kept saying he expected them to. There was a former Clinton campaign outside lawyer who was brought up on charges. He was acquitted, Again, in here, there's a footnote that points out there's no chargeable crimes against people in the Clinton campaign. Again, something that the former president said he expected this investigation to find. Jake.
So it's very interesting. First of all, we should note that when President Biden took office, there were two special counsels, or one U.S. attorney and one special counsel, that he let continue doing their jobs. One was John Durham doing this case, and the other one was the U.S. attorney in Delaware investigating Hunter. So that is why this was allowed to proceed.
So he's giving credit to Joe Biden for allowing these proceedings to move forward that led us to where we are right now. If it wasn't for Joe, who allowed them to continue to do their jobs, we wouldn't be where we are right now.
A couple quotes here from Durham's report. One, based on the review of Crossfire Hurricane, that's the investigation into Trump and Russia, and related intelligence activities, we conclude that the Justice Department and FBI failed to uphold their important mission of strict fidelity to the law in connection with certain events and activities described in the report. And he says about, quote, regarding certain personnel intimately involved in the matter, there was a, quote, predisposition to open an investigation into Trump. He is basically saying, he's not, these are not criminal allegations, but he's saying that this was unprofessional and failed to meet the standards of the Justice Department and the FBI.
Jake, the stunning thing about this report is that we frankly know a lot of this. The Inspector General of the Justice Department did a 500-page report that came out in late 2019. And that one told us a lot of these findings that Durham is now confirming, frankly.
So basically what this guy is saying is that they knew that it was fake news the entire time. Since 2019, they knew what John Durham is just now finding out. Then why the hell was y'all not reporting on it? Basically, we already had the information that John Durham is now finding out. Well, why didn't you report on it? Unless I'm missing something. If I'm missing something, please feel free to give me whatever information I'm missing. But if you knew that, then y'all should put that information out there, and that would have helped bring this whole thing to a close far sooner than what you knew in 2019. It's 2023 right now. That's 4 more years, bro. What am I missing?
One of the reasons why Durham was brought on board was supposedly to go beyond what the Inspector General of the Justice Department found in their investigation. And one of the things they were supposed to do was to tell us a lot about what the intelligence community was doing. It turns out they didn't find very much there in the intelligence community, and certainly not to support the suspicions that they had that there was a cabal of people from the FBI and the intelligence community who were out to get Donald Trump. That appears to have fallen flat as part of this investigation. And so, look, there's a lot in here that should make the FBI have to come back and answer some of the more questions, including some of the changes that they say they've made to make sure something like this never happens again. But the bottom line from what we see here at the end of a 4-year investigation, really there doesn't tell us a hell of a lot more than what we knew a couple of years ago when the Inspector General took a look at many of these things and came away with 17 very big troubling findings that they said the FBI needed to fix. Jake.
Yeah, so another thing, so Rachel Cohen, who is a spokeswoman, the communications director for Mark Warner, who is the chairman of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, she notes, and this is important context, that the Senate Intelligence Committee spent 3.5 years reviewing millions of documents and interviewing hundreds of witnesses. She writes this on Twitter, right, and concluded that the FBI had ample cause for concern in 2016. And she notes that the committee, the Senate Intelligence Committee at the time, was led by Republicans. She's referring to former North Carolina Senator Richard Burr. And again, both of these facts can be true at the same time. It is possible that the FBI had legitimate cause for concern, and is also possible that some individuals in the FBI got ahead over their skis and were not as professional as they should have been.
As you can clearly see, they do not look at this as a win for Trump. They don't look at this as a win for the country. They don't look at it as a win. They look at it as, we already knew this. I mean, it's one small win, but this is information that we already had for a long time. And my question as a citizen is, why didn't you guys report on it? Why didn't you report that the FBI were wrong for moving forward with the full out probe? Why didn't you report on that? Why is it now? Like, only reason why they're reporting on it now is because, yeah, we're going to talk about it at great length. We're going to have panels on top of panels on top of panels on top of panels about this one topic, just to let people know, nah, it's not as big as they claim. They claim it to be a victory on the right, but it's not a victory for real. I mean, it's basically what we already knew. That's pretty much that's what they're saying. Not pretty much what they're saying. That's exactly what they're saying. They're not giving y'all any credit. None. They're not accepting defeat at all. Because it's about left versus right. If it was anyone else, they would have given a whole, if it was Biden, if it was Hillary Clinton, they would have given it to him. Katarina says, not surprised deep state is scared of Trump because he tells the truth and don't take crap from no one. Well, guess what? They are afraid of this brother. They are afraid of him. They're not going to give him any props whatsoever. John Durham did not achieve or accomplish a damn thing in the eyes of CNN or anyone on the right after this, because once CNN tell you that this don't mean anything to us, what they're going to do is, at great length, they're going to start to put that information out there, put that into the minds of the voters. Like, it's not a big deal. I mean, come on, it's small potatoes. You know what I mean? That's how they're going to look at it. And the people who vote for the left, that's how they're going to look at it too, based off of what they're being fed and manipulated to believe. And they're gonna be like, it's not a big deal. And then when Trump is all excited about it and giving speeches about it and talking about it on Truth Social, and whenever he does a video and he's saying that it's straight from the horse's mouth, people should be fired. This is big. This is huge for me. This is a huge win for our people. They're gonna play it up as if he's a fool, like he's celebrating for nothing. That's what they're gonna play it up. That's what they're doing. They're setting it up already. That's the only reason why I checked out this video, because I already knew they can care less. And they have to mention Trump in their videos in order to do well anyway. So you have that too. So there you go. There's going to be a lot more panels on CNN and MSNBC where they're going to be discussing this, and they're going to constantly regurgitate that whole thought process of it's not a big deal, it's not a win, let's just shoot this off the table. And if it's not a win and it's not a big deal, why in the hell are y'all going to continue to talk about it? Just go to CNN on YouTube here and there, and you're going to see just the titles and thumbnails of them talking about this one topic at great length. It's ridiculous, man.